I can see this group takes good care of their belongings. Oh, don't mind me. I tend to pay attention to those kinds of things. It's part of the business. Tell me, are you the kind of folks who fight for what is fair and right?
Yes. Yes.
Good. It's the only way to be in my mind. I'm Leah Wright Day. We don't actually know my date of birth. It's either in 1855 or 1861, depending on who's counting. But you know, it wasn't that uncommon. They didn't usually keep track of those of us born into enslavement. Point is, I was here. And I lived an important life, just like all of us, great and small. I come from a family of washerwomen. Yes, my mother Millie was a washerwoman. Oh, she had other dreams in her head too. But the washing was her trade. It wasn't bad living either, caring for the laundry. Trust me, I can tell everything happening in your house by what's in your laundry. It's one thing to take care of someone's clothes. It's another thing to keep their secrets. But it was grueling work, mind you, not with these newfangled washing machines like you have now. First, we made our own soap from lye, starch from wheat bran, and washing tubs from old beer barrels. I even built my own tub so I could have large enough bins. We would add the soap to the hot water and then the clothes would go in. We repeated this cycle of washing and boiling, rinsing and drying Monday through Saturday all day long. Not to mention carrying heavy, sloshing buckets of water from the well or stirring big pots for hours on end. Whew, it was hot, back-breaking work. And a lot of our work was done outside in all the elements. But I'm sure you didn't come here to hear about your clothes. You want to know more about the strike of 1881. I'll tell you, you've probably never thought of us washerwomen before. Written out of so many history books. No one ever thinks about those whose job it was to help the city run. But it wasn't just the history books who treated us washerwomen badly. What I learned is, sometimes those who want you to take care of their silks don't want to pay you properly for your work. Very simply, the washerwomen across the city employed to clean the clothes of those more fortunate weren't being paid fairly for our work. Imagine, we would do 1 month's worth of laundry and receive only $4 to $8 for it. So the washerwomen of Atlanta organized, like we saw the abolitionists do, got right down to the black churches like Wheat Street Baptist to meet up. The first 20 women organized the Washing Society, but that grew to 3,000 when it came to the strike. Imagine, clothes would be picked up at the start of the week, only to be returned soaking wet a few days later as the women joined our cause one by one. The 3,000 included Atlanta's whitewashing women too. And even though they only made up 2% of our cause, we were an interracial coalition many decades before the civil rights movement fought for the right to vote for all Americans. Washerwomen went on strike for better pay, respect, and independence over our work. Did you know that the city had more washerwomen than male laborers at the time? Did you know?
No.
We knew. And we knew that meant our strike would bring the city to a grinding halt. We threatened to bring our strike to the big international cotton exhibition the city had planned that year. And the city's dirty laundry, so to speak. The city, they did not take too kindly to our strike. They arrested some of us strikers and threatened us too. But you know, it was a small price to pay for the work, and we didn't stop. City leadership even tried to stop our efforts by demanding licensing. But we outsmarted them at their own game, and eventually they caved. We demanded $1 for every 12 pounds of laundry, and in the end, we got it. We demonstrated the value of our work and took control over our businesses. The Atlanta washing women's movement was one of the most successful labor movements of our time. A matter of fact, we influenced the busboys at the hotels to fight for higher wages and set a blueprint for many decades to come. After the strike, life returned to its pace. My husband, William, and I decided to add to our family. We had 8 total children, 6 of whom lived into adulthood. They didn't need to continue the laundry business. They were able to choose their own professions. Talk about giving your children a better life. Now, we all live here. I come to rest here March 14th, 1936. I would have loved to live longer to see the civil rights movement. They sure learned from the struggles before them, including ours. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and what you believe in too. So go forward, look after each other, and for goodness sake, remember to stand up against injustice in all forms. Thank you and have a good night.